Windmill Line is a housing co-op, 10 stories, 206 units, about 350 members, located in the St. Lawrence neighborhood of Toronto. It was part of a redevelopment project that happened in the 1970s, 80s to reclaim some industrial land. The greatest thing about this area is the Esplanade, which is a green corridor that was planned right from the beginning to be part of the community. The members at Windmill Line are a good cross-section of society. We've got young families, singles, couples, seniors, persons with disabilities.
The community is remarkable, and we love it for that reason. It's really mixed racially, financially, culturally. There are members here who've committed to 30 years of this co-op.
So a housing co-op is a mixed-income, democratically run community. Members make decisions about what happens in the co-op. Windmill Line is a Section 95 housing co-op, so that means we have an operating agreement with CMHC, and CMHC provided two types of funding to the co-op, bridge subsidy and rent geared to income assistance. The co-op could not have functioned without that money. The assistance was essential to the running of the co-op, and certainly at least 25% of the members currently, and in the past it was as high as 50% of the members, would not have been able to live here without the rent geared to income assistance. Windmill Line's operating agreement with CMHC was a 35-year agreement, and it ends in May of 2018. What that means for the co-op is that the co-op no longer has any obligations to CMHC. It also means that our mortgage is paid off. The other thing it means is that CMHC will no longer be providing rent geared to income assistance as of May of 2018. So the co-op needs to be proactive in planning for that.
The main concern is the question of whether or not we're going to be able to continue to be able to provide a housing charge reduction program that will allow people of low income to be able to continue to live at Windmill Line. We did a survey about 4 months ago and asked people how they would spend the mortgage savings, and gave them sort of 5 or 6 different categories, including capital repairs, upgrades, aging in place, more staff, and an ongoing subsidy program, housing charge reduction program.
Co-op has also been very proactive in funding its capital reserves. About 15% of its operating budget goes towards a fund to fund future expenses, future major capital projects. The co-op has set up a committee, a 2018 working group, to look at the various things that need to be done before the end of the operating agreement.
We've completed the Cooperative Housing Federation of Canada's 2020 process. The tools are a diagnostic tool and a planning tool.
There's a 5-step process that co-ops work through. The first one is to develop a vision and mission statement, which is really quite inspired. They were able then to complete all the other steps, proving that they had good governance, proving that they had good management, that their financial tools were adequate to the task, that they had a vision of recycling and environmental sustainability.
At Windmill Line, what's popping out is that we're actually in pretty good shape. There will be some challenges, but there's tremendous opportunities, particularly in the fact that we will own our own asset. We've stopped trying to sort of think of it in terms of end of the operating agreement and really starting to try to think of it in terms of a transition to independence and what are the opportunities that creates for us, as well as trying to figure out how we're going to deal with the challenges.
I think CHF Canada's 2020 vision tools have been instrumental in helping the co-op to develop a plan for being ready for the end of the operating agreement.
I hope things continue as close to the way they are as possible. People who live here are happy to be here.